To maintain a sovereign republic, the justice system relies on a very specific foundation, an objectively verified, precise legal text. Without a locked-in constitution, the law becomes whatever the ruling elite says it is. In 12th century Egypt, a physician and supreme jurist named Maimonides identified this exact vulnerability within classical Jewish law. He recognized that to govern a nation effectively, jurisprudence required absolute precision. He refused to rely on the standard circulating copies of legal texts of his day. Over generations of copying, those documents had accumulated debilitating scribal errors, subtly shifting and corrupting the specific wording of the law. Maimonides understood that constitutional authority flows directly from the exact language of the original text. Pinning down the precise wording neutralizes the subjective power of any individual judge who reads it. You can see his methodology at work in a specific ruling from his legal code, Hilkot Malve Velove, Chapter 15, Law 2, which deals with the reliability of a debtor's testimony. To resolve a legal contradiction, Maimonides bypassed the recent flawed copies entirely. He secured direct access to 500-year-old fragments of ancient parchment, known as Gevalim, pulled right from the Cairo archives. By examining the physical evidence contained in these ancient witnesses, Maimonides proved the contemporary texts were wrong. He used raw empirical data to definitively overrule centuries of accumulated rabbinic assumptions. This sets a strict historical precedent. The rigorous, objective verification of physical manuscripts serves as the absolute, unchanging prerequisite for determining authentic Jewish jurisprudence. During the long centuries of physical exile, dispersion across the globe, and the absence of a sovereign Supreme Court, the classical legal texts underwent massive structural decay. This diagram shows a single master document splintering. By the modern era, standard European editions of Maimonides' Mishneh Torah accumulated 10,000 errors. These fall into two categories: natural scribal degradation from hand-copying texts over centuries, and deliberate ideological interpolations. This sheer volume of errors broke the objective nature of the law. Without a reliable, unified text, the public lost the ability to verify the code for themselves, subjugating them to the subjective authority of local religious elites who monopolized the interpretation. A major driver of errors was deliberate Christian censorship. European authorities actively struck out sections of classical Jewish texts, forcing their edits onto the law. We see this in the forced alteration of foundational terms. Original Hebrew words like goyim or avodah zarah were targeted. Censors replaced them with the invented acronym akum to appease Christian authorities demanding exemption from pagan classifications. This specific, targeted redaction proves a harsh geopolitical reality. An objective, precise legal baseline cannot survive as long as a nation remains subjugated by a foreign power's jurisdiction. The physical ingathering of exiles to the land of Israel created the political shift necessary to reverse this decay. Returning to the land finally enabled a comprehensive academic rescue mission. As distinct Jewish populations converged, modern rationalist scholars gained direct access to uncorrupted ancient manuscripts. These texts had been safeguarded for centuries by insulated Yemenite and Middle Eastern communities, safe from the censors of Europe. Today, projects like the Mifal Mishneh Torah, directed by Yochai Makbili, are undertaking the massive task of surgically excising thousands of exilic corruptions. Through a rigorous mechanical process of philological cross-referencing, these scholars have successfully restored the precise original wording of Maimonides' legal code. Physical sovereignty over the land and secure access to ancient archives serve as the mandatory mechanical prerequisites for recovering a nation's true constitutional foundation. This tremendous work extends far beyond Maimonides. Scholars are restoring the entire corpus of classical texts, from Professor Saul Lieberman's work on the Tosefta to Rabbi Dr. Eliyahu Zini's recovery of the Geonic Responsa. Yet, the core of the legal system, the Babylonian Talmud, is still primarily printed and studied today in its heavily censored and corrupted exilic form, known as the Vilna Shas. Completing this massive textual purification across all classical texts is a strict legal necessity for the modern courts. Locking in the exact, uncorrupted wording of the law creates a unified, objective legal infrastructure. This purified baseline provides the objective infrastructure required for a state to govern itself. By removing the traces of foreign censorship and scribal error, it creates a sovereign legal reality, one where the nation is governed by its own rational constitution rather than the dictates of its exile.